Hi, I'm Katie, and today I'm going to talk about and then make a J.L. Hudson's Maurice salad. Maurice salad for short. So this salad I've been hearing about off and on for probably about 6 months, to the point where I was like, why do I keep hearing about this Maurice salad? So I started looking into it a little bit more and discovered that it was a much loved Detroit staple at the J.L. Hudson's company, which was a department store in downtown Detroit that eventually got turned into Hudson's department store, which was in malls all over the place. If you grew up in Michigan like me, I remember having Hudson's in our mall in Novi and in some of the other malls that I would visit with my mom in and around the state. I vaguely remember eating at Hudson's and it being very fancy. They had white tablecloths, and I remember there was this long hallway you had to take to get to it, and I think there was like green velvet, and it just felt very fancy to me. This is just sort of a vague memory that I had, though, so I did contact my mom to make sure I was remembering it right. We're more of a Coney Island kind of family, a little bit more chill than what I remember Hudson's being. So I texted my mom, and she confirmed. So I said, when I was little, did we eat in Hudson's dining room at the mall? Fancy place with a long hallway. Was that Hudson's? And she said, yes, Maurice salad. Without me even asking about the salad or telling her what I was interested in. So she said, my grandma used to take us there. Why? So that kind of makes sense. When I was a little bit more fancier place than we were used to going, my great-grandmother was treating us for lunch usually, I guess. And I just said, well, I was wondering about the Maurice salad. Did we eat it? And she says, oh yes, best I ever had. Said, did I like it? Because I do not remember eating a Maurice salad. And she said, yes, you always liked it. Great salad. And I said, thanks for reminding me, and told her that I was planning on making it for AADL-TV. She says, chop the pickles into small pieces. Some salads leave them too big. All right, will do, Mom. My mother is not the only person who is very opinionated about this salad. I've been looking around online to find more information about how it originated and the history of it, and there's really not a whole lot out there, but there's a lot of people making their own Maurice salad at home and maybe making like lighter versions of it, so it's healthier, but a lot of people are very opinionated on that you cannot change any of these ingredients that are in this recipe or it will not taste like a Hudson's Maurice salad. So as I was looking around, I found an article on the Free Press, the Detroit Free Press, that listed the recipe and had tons of comments on it, and one of the comments mentioned that you could find the recipe printed in a Marshall Fields cookbook. So I was like, well, Marshall Fields, that is from Chicago, and Hudson's is from Detroit, so what is the Detroit recipe doing in a Chicago cookbook? That's when I discovered that J.L. Hudson's was acquired eventually by Target, which was then acquired by Marshall Fields in the 90s. So I remember Hudson's from the 80s, and then in the 90s they were taken over by Marshall Fields, and then around 2006 all of that was taken over by Macy's, which is the most recent sort of department store that I remember from that chain in the malls. So I went looking for the Marshall Fields cookbook. Didn't have it at the library. Interlibrary loan services were suspended at the time, so I couldn't look there, at least for the immediate gratification that I was looking for. I looked at a couple local bookstores. They didn't have it. And then I checked Amazon, and it was $55, which is way more than I'm looking to spend on a cookbook for one recipe. But then I was looking around a little bit more. I found it on eBay for $6, free shipping, and got it sent to me. So I am now the proud owner of the Marshall Fields Cookbook. As you can see, there is a pot pie on the front of it, and the majority of the recipes in this book are pot pies. So if you're really into pot pies, I would suggest looking into this book. I did look at the Mel website, which our services will be resuming soon at the library, and you can get it from there if you'd like to borrow it. Otherwise, $6 on eBay if you're a big pot pie fan. There's a lot of history in the front. There's some old pictures of the dining room at the original Marshall Fields, and there's some history. There is a little blurb here about Dayton's and Hudson's bringing their beloved traditions to the Marshall Fields table. It says, in 2001, the three were united under the Marshall Fields banner. From Dayton's came regional dishes such as Boundary Waters wild rice soup and perennial favorites like Mandarin chicken salad and popovers. Hudson's brought its famed Canadian cheese soup and the phenomenally popular Maurice salad to Fields menus. So the Maurice salad, beloved enough to make it into the history in the beginning of the book. So that's kind of cool. Going further into the book, there are some other recipes that look really nice. This is the Mandarin chicken salad that was mentioned in that blurb that I just read. And even though it said that this is from the Dayton's department store, I feel like this looks really familiar to me. I feel like I ate this at Hudson's. I don't know if that's true or not. I might have to ask my mom. But regardless, it looks really good. So I think I'm going to make it. So stay tuned for that in the future. Well, then I just flipped to the next page and found my recipe for Maurice salad. It's right here. As you can see, there's no picture, which I was really, really hoping to get an official picture of what the Maurice salad is supposed to look like. There's a bunch of stuff out there on Pinterest and things like that, but I was hoping for the cookbook version. Alas, I'll have to make do with just the text recipe. It's fine. So I was looking through the rest of this book, and there are a couple other things to note. I guess most notably, what's that? Does anybody know what that looks like? So apparently it's called Fields Special, and no one at Marshall Fields can account for the phenomenal popularity of this unusual item. No kidding. It's a cross between an open-faced turkey club and a wedge salad. It's been on the menu for more than 60 years, and the Fields kitchen staff have given it all kinds of pet names, including the Cyclops. When it was retired a few years ago to make room for something more contemporary, people just kept ordering it anyway, so now it's back on the menu to say, try it and you'll see why. Okay, I really don't want to try it, but at the same time, I kind of really do, because why do people like that so much? I think I'm probably just going to have to make it. Okay, so that is sort of an exploration of this cookbook. Actually, I meant to show you the back. They have a panelist of celebrity judges, like Marcus Samuelson, and then one of my other favorites, Rick Bayless, who contributed recipes to this book. Each and every one of them made a pot pie, so, that's your thing. Check out this cookbook. Okay, so I am going to leave you there, and the next time I see you, I'll be in my kitchen making the Maurice salad. Alright, here I am in my kitchen, and before I start assembling the salad, I should tell you a little bit more about it. So I'm going to read you the little blurb at the top of the recipe in the Marshall Fields cookbook. Maurice salad. Who was Maurice? Some say he was a chef at Hudson's in Detroit, which later became Marshall Fields, where the salad made its debut, though no one knows for sure. While Maurice's identity may have faded into obscurity, His chef's salad with a lemony mayo dressing remains the #1 seller in all of Field's Michigan restaurants. Look for small bottles of onion juice in the spice section of many supermarkets. If it's not available, grate a piece of onion and squeeze the pulp through cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer. So yes, one of the ingredients that I've heard is very important in this salad dressing is onion juice, which I'd never heard of before. But there it is. I got some. So I'll be sure to use that and not the squeezing the onion method because I've heard it's not as good. So, oh, and the other thing that I wanted to mention is that this cookbook was published in 2006. And so when they're saying like this is the #1 seller in all of Field's Michigan restaurants, those restaurants shut down pretty quickly after this was published. So now we've got Macy's. I think they still have food there, but it's been a while since I've been to one. All right. So I'm going to get together some ingredients and start making the salad dressing. All right, I'm ready to make the salad dressing for our Maurice salad. This recipe that I've got here makes 4 to 6 servings. That's too much for me, so I am halving the recipe. That's pretty much the only alteration that I'm making at this point. You can see what I do when I have a recipe is I'll write out what the actual quantities of the ingredients are that I need, because otherwise I tend not to remember. So that's a little trick that I do. So let's get started. Okay. To prepare the dressing, combine the vinegar, lemon juice, onion juice, sugar, Dijon mustard, get that all off my spatula. All right, and this is dry mustard, or as we call it in my house, mustard powder. A little bit of that. Got a cup of mayonnaise as our main salad dressing ingredient. I have some fresh chopped parsley to go in there. And actually it looks like put in the mayo and the parsley too early. Was supposed to whisk it before then, but everybody makes mistakes. I'm gonna go ahead and just whisk it right now. So I think the idea is that you want to whisk the liquids that I put in here with the sugar first so that the sugar will dissolve into the liquid. But I think it's gonna dissolve just fine into the liquid with the mayonnaise and the parsley in there too. And actually, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it, but it looks really good, and it's not chunky or anything like that. It's really smooth, so I'm fine with it. The next thing that we're going to put in here is a hard-boiled egg. So to me, that's a super interesting, kind of weird ingredient to put in a salad dressing, but maybe it's one of those things that's in like all sorts of salad dressings and you just don't realize it. But so the original recipe calls for 1 hard-boiled egg. So little odd, we're going to be using half of a hard-boiled egg. If I were not making this for the first time, I'd probably just throw the whole egg in. I really like hard-boiled eggs, but, you know, trying to stick to the recipe. So, got a new trick that I learned from the internet for dicing up hard-boiled eggs. It's not one of my favorite things to do. Usually get it all stuck to the knife, and it's just kind of messy. So, what I'm going to do is just slice with my egg slicer like I normally would, and it's just not as nice as it is if you're using just 1 hard-boiled egg, but it's fine. I got it. Then you take a baking rack, cooling rack, and you just put your egg right over at top, and you smash it through your cooling rack, and it dices your egg for you. Pretty cool. I have this smaller cooling rack, and I have a larger cooling rack that has actually smaller holes. I've tried them both, and I actually prefer this one both because it's it's smaller and it's easy to just sort of navigate if you've got small counter spots like me. But the egg goes through the larger holes easier too, so you don't have to mess with it as much. Anyway, thought that was a neat trick and applicable here, so I'm just gonna whisk a little bit more to get the hard-boiled egg combined into this salad dressing. And it's just looking really good. It definitely looks like a salad dressing that I would chow down on. All right, salad dressing's done. Next, we're gonna add ham, turkey, cheese, and pickles. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those salad ingredients ready, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've just measured out my turkey, ham, and Swiss cheese using my handy food scale here. The recipe calls for a pound of each, so I'm doing a half a pound of each because I'm trying to make 2 to 3 servings instead of 4 to 6. But I just kind of wanted to show you, I don't know how well you can see, like, how much turkey and ham and this giant amount of Swiss cheese is going to be very interesting for 2 people. I think it's going to be a lot of food. Hope we're hungry. So it calls for all of this to be julienne, which is a term for a cut that I am used to seeing for vegetables or potatoes. It basically is like a matchstick cut. So I've never really done that with lunch meat before, or cheese for that matter. So I'm going to give it a shot. I think with the lunch meat, I'm just going to cut the piles in half first, and then sort of just do some thin slices so it comes out with each individual slice looking like that. I think that's what they mean by julienne the lunch meat. It's close as I'm gonna get. All right, I'm gonna finish this. Be right back. All right, it's time to assemble most of our Maurice salad. Just want to point out again that I've got this giant pile of Swiss cheese, turkey, and ham that's going to be sort of the base of our salad. I'm supposed to put it into a large bowl. There it goes, into our bowl, along with some slivered gherkin pickles. So I have these right here. As you recall, when I was asking my mom about the salad, the thing that she had to say about it was make sure that you don't slice the pickles too thick. I believe I've slivered them fairly small. Hopefully will be acceptable for my salad. I'm just dumping that in there, and then it says to just toss this up. So got some salad tossing tools. And get this all mixed in so that cheese isn't all in one place. Ham and turkey get mixed together. Try not to lose too much of it as I'm tossing this around. Okay, it's looking pretty mixed up. It's pretty mixed up. All right, so then we are to pour the dressing over the salad and gently fold together. Get my salad dressing from over here that we made earlier, and I'm just going to kind of try and spread it evenly around the bowl, get any excess out of one bowl and into the other. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Got most of it. And now I will fold it together. So to me that just means gently stirring it and turning it over, rotating the bowl every once in a while to just make sure everything gets evenly combined. It's actually looking really good. The amounts seem right. Everything is coated with dressing. It looks kind of like, it definitely looks like a version of chef salad. So that should be delicious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this for dinner, and it is not dinner time yet. So the next step would be to arrange a bed of, what kind of lettuce? Iceberg lettuce on a plate, and then you put a big scoop of this on top, and then as a garnish, my bowl's in the way, but I've got these pimento stuffed green olives, and you're supposed to take 2, put them on a toothpick. Got these fancy toothpicks, and this is the garnish for your salad. So what I'm going to do is when I assemble it with the iceberg lettuce, because you really don't need to see me chop iceberg lettuce, you've got that, I will take a picture of the final product, and then after I eat it for dinner, I will come back and let you know what I thought. All right, see you then. Okay, so I'm back from eating dinner. Finally had a Maurice salad, and after months and months of wanting to make it and see it and try it, I finally did, and it was just kind of okay. So unfortunately, I wasn't totally impressed. I do have some notes. Number one is that I did forget to add the salt and pepper when I was originally making it, so I added that at the end. So if you're making it, don't forget that in the ingredients list. I found that the Maurice salad was not bringing back any fond memories of Hudson's for me. I didn't recall ever eating anything like that before, which doesn't mean that I never did, but I just couldn't remember it. There was a lot. Like, you know how as I was making it, I was just like, wow, this is a ton of meat and cheese. It was a ton of meat and cheese. So if I was going to make it again, I'd probably reduce the amount of definitely cheese by half. Maybe increase a little bit of the hard-boiled egg, which I kind of thought I was going to want to, but I really like hard-boiled egg in salad, so that's not really surprising. I would have liked a little bit more of that flavor. My husband actually liked the salad a little bit more than I did, I think. He really likes lunch meat. I do too, but not necessarily in things. I don't know. I'm not sure. He liked it a little bit better, but one of the things that he did was he really liked the green olive garnish and thought that it would actually taste good in the salad, so he chopped up a couple of the green olives stuffed with pimentos, and I tried that too, and I thought it did help add a little bit of flavor to the salad, so if you're an olive fan, that could be a thing that you do. But yeah, overall, I just thought that the salad was kind of heavy. It was pretty bland. The dressing's supposed to be like this big lemony onion star, and I just wasn't feeling it. My husband said that if I hadn't told him it was supposed to be a special dressing, he would have thought it was just mayo, so he wasn't tasting it either. That's about it. Those are all the notes I have about the Maurice salad. I'm glad that I tried it. It's always good to try something new, and always nice to film it for you on AADL TV. Hopefully that Mandarin chicken salad out of the cookbook that I got will be good, because it looks really good in the picture, and I think that one might be a little bit more my style salad. So I'll make that one soon. Thank you for watching AADL TV, and I'll see you later. Bye!